Hey, what's up guys, TotallyDubbed here, and today I'm doing a video review on the Philips BDM4065UC. This is a 40-inch monitor that runs at 3840x2160, that's 4K. It has a WLED panel that runs at 16:9 in terms of its aspect ratio, and it has a response time of 8.5 milliseconds, which can be boosted down to 3 milliseconds. The link of this spec sheet that you can see in front of you right now will be in the description below. So first of all, its pricing. So it can be found for £583 on Amazon.co.uk and can be found on Amazon.com for $800. Huge price tag. These links again will be in the description below in case you're interested. So first off, let's talk about its inputs and its build quality, and then we'll get into its panel quality and then the gaming performance. So first of all, it's build quality. So as you can see, it's a stand over here. I literally have to stand right next to it because it's massive. So in terms of its stand, it's a very sturdy stand. It doesn't really wobble that much. You can see that it's really well built from the bottom. Hopefully you'll be able to see that in terms of its panel, its bottom bit over here. It's solid metal and it really doesn't budge, and it's very easy to install. In terms of installing it, if I take you just around the back, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you properly, but it's very easy to install. All you do is put 4 screws in on the side, 4 screws in at the bottom, and you've pretty much installed it. It's very, very easy to do. You'll be able to see on the back you've got some various inputs. I'm just checking to see if the camera, yeah, it does pick it up. Has got different inputs. So first of all, obviously you got your power cable over here. Now one thing I did notice about the power cable, I can see that some people might mount this. It's got some VESA mounts over here. It can be actually mounted. The problem with the power cable is the fact that as it sticks out, it's hard to mount in terms of having it flush on a wall. So there's one thing I did note, but I guess you could change the power cable in terms of a L-shaped right-angled power cable, but the one included is straight, so just bear that in mind. In terms of the back, right at the back, you've got a USB 3.0 connection with 4 USB 3.0 ports. This is brilliant because obviously you can have it connected up to your PC and you can just use it. Its placement isn't great because it's quite literally behind the monitor, so I can't see it being used that much, but you know, it's there if you need it. Now in terms of its inputs, which are very important, so you've got HDMI, you've got HDMI MHL, which means that you can connect it up to your Android device if you so wish, which is with the included cable, HDMI to mini USB, which is great. I'll just put that to the side. Then you've got DisplayPort, which I urge to use because obviously to run 60 Hz 4K, you're going to need DisplayPort. If you're going to run 30 Hz, which is really poor in terms of performance, and it's quite laggy, of course you can use HDMI or VGA. And then you've got audio in and out via 3.5mm jack. So in terms of its build quality, in terms of the inputs, it's got everything right. It's missing DVI, but quite honestly, I don't see myself using DVI over HDMI or DisplayPort, especially in terms of its signal quality, and by that I mean how much data it can transfer. HDMI and DVI are just a little bit better in terms of what they can transfer, as in HDMI can transfer sound, whereas DVI can't, and DisplayPort just does much more than both of them. I should also mention there is a mini DisplayPort port on the monitor itself, which is useful, but I don't think many people have integrated into mini DisplayPort just yet. DisplayPort is still trying to break through, in my opinion. Still, HDMI is the one that's really leading the pack, and so is DVI in terms of monitors. So now in terms of the bezel, now the bezel's very thin, and I really like that. It's very thin at the edge, at the top and the bottom and the sides, all very well done. And then at the front you've got a Philips logo with a sort of little light. Now I read online some people were complaining that the light doesn't go off when you go on standby. Well, there's a little button at the back. It might be a little bit hard to show because I don't know if my camera will really pick it up, but there is a little button at the back, and I'm just trying to turn the monitor around, and I'm just trying to zoom in for you guys. actually bring it closer, makes it easier. There's a little button over here on the side, and this is a multifunctional button which I'll show you in just a second. Where you go up and down, it brings you the menu, and obviously you can switch it off. So if you hold that down and you press it, it switches off the monitor itself. Also at the back, you probably noticed that there is an on and off switch, and that is to switch off the whole monitor, which is great because, you know, some people worry about standby time, which you should be worried about in terms of how much energy it consumes, and you know, you can switch off the monitor completely by a flick of the switch right there, so that is very useful. So going back to the front, so I can show you guys. So in that little button which I talked about, if you flick it up, you've got a multi-view button. If you flick it down, you've got the source, so for example audio source, where it can come in from. If you flick it right, you come up with the actual full-blown menu. So here it's just like any monitor that I've reviewed from Philips. You've got a picture, you've got a pip, audio, color, language, OSD settings, and setup. Obviously, you've got all different settings over here. The main thing that you probably want to do is make sure you're on DisplayPort 1.2 on the setup screen. And then also, in terms of your color, you can adjust it as you wish. I've got 100 on everything. And then in terms of the picture itself, you can see I've got brightness at 100 right now. So it's a very easy and very responsive little button at the back, which really does everything, and it's quite intelligent in terms of how it works, and I really like that. I wish all monitors would use just a single button click like that, because it's just so intuitive. You don't need 5-6 buttons to do on the bottom or the right. So overall, in terms of build quality and design, very well done by Philips. Now let's move on to the panel quality. So let me just come back a little bit so I can actually see what you are seeing as well. There we go, that's perfect. So the panel qualities, and that panel quality I was very impressed of. It is absolutely stunning. Now in terms of the wallpapers, I've got a 1440p, but I've tested with 4K wallpapers, which I've got on my desktop right there. But the quality is so sharp, and what I've been really looking out for is the colors. The colors do really come out very, very well, and they really do stand out. It didn't need any calibration outside the box. I mean, I really didn't feel it needed it. Colors are absolutely accurate. They're really nice. They come out just right. They're not oversaturated, nor are they washed out. And on top of that, it's a massive screen, and yet there's no sort of backlight bleeding of any sort that I noticed, which I felt affects a LED screen. So it's really well done in that respect as well, because, you know, backlight bleeding, especially when it comes to darker images, can be an issue, and especially in terms of the middle section, can be washed out. So that's often the case with LED screens. In this respect, it looks fantastic. As you can see, I'm flicking through a few pictures so you guys can see, and I'm running Windows 10 right now. So it is absolutely, yeah, really well done, and I really love the quality of the screen and the monitor. So top marks to Philips there for that. Now it's gaming performance. So obviously I game quite a bit, and so here is Counter-Strike that I've got. And it's something that I'm going to allude to for two things over here. First of all, it's sound, it's inbuilt sound that it's got, and also its sort of gaming performance. So I've got it set up as 4K right now, which is really strenuous on my poor little GTX 960. So obviously, if you're going to be gaming, make sure you've got the right graphics card for that. But in terms of its gaming performance, it's very good. I mean, I hardly noticed any lag in terms of its input, and it's very good in terms of its response time as well. So overall, I felt it was very good. I could see myself gaming on this. Obviously, it is a 40-inch screen, so you have to bear that in mind. And right now, I'm using the mouse on my carpet, you know, so do bear in mind that why it might be a bit jittery is because of that. But in terms of its, you know, when I click, it's coming out perfectly, and it's really hardly notice any problems. So I can see myself gaming on this, and it really does look nice. Now, in terms of its its beauty, so I just want to demonstrate that, and I'm going to do that by going on Battlefield 4. And I'm just going to show you just go on a map and just show you it, just because, again, it looks absolutely stunning, and I have to say I was really blown away by how beautiful this panel looks. So in terms of overall, guys, it is a really nice monitor. It is very expensive for a monitor, considering that you can get a TV for the same price. Obviously, it's not going to have the same functionalities or the inputs and everything like that, but in terms of what you get out the box for a monitor, it does what it says on the tin. It is a monitor, and for what it does, it does really flawlessly. Its panel, its response time, its build quality, the inputs it has, and the functionalities it has just overall is fantastic. So I'm just gonna let this load and then just end off the video on that. Again, if you guys are interested in the monitor, make sure you check the links in the description below. It definitely gets a massive thumbs up from me. Massive thumbs up. So yeah, do check it out, and definitely do let me know your comments below of the monitor itself, what you think of it, and yeah, definitely subscribe and like, favorite, and share the video in case if you like it. So here we go, it's Battlefield 4 running at 4K. You know, having quite a bit of problems with my frame rate at 30 FPS, but there you go. I just thought to show you this because it looks really, really beautiful, and I don't know if you can really see that through the screen. Alright guys, take care, totally dubbed out. Bye bye.